Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to completely transform how you think about muscle recovery and stress. I'm so excited to share this with you because we're looking at the fascinating science behind something a lot of us actually misunderstand. We often think of therapeutic bodywork as just a simple spa indulgence, right? A rare treat for a special occasion. But the data and research we're digging into today completely flip that script. We're going to look at the precise biological reset your body undergoes during targeted physical intervention.
So let's dive right into this by looking at a perfect case study. Las Vegas. Have you ever wondered why a trip to a place like Vegas absolutely drains your physical stamina? Seriously, whether you're visiting for a convention or you live in a high-demand, nonstop city, the toll it takes on you is immense. You might just think, oh, I'm just tired. But beneath the surface, there is a very specific physiological chain reaction taking place.
Here's the thing, your body simply isn't designed to sustain that level of physiological arousal indefinitely. When you're navigating miles of walking across sprawling casino floors, dealing with the dry desert heat, lugging around heavy baggage, and absorbing constant sensory input, your body literally goes into a defensive posture. It forces your sympathetic nervous system into a locked alert mode. You are constantly in fight or flight, and honestly, you might not even realize it's happening.
And this brilliantly illustrates the specific structural fatigue that business travelers, active adults, and even daily commuters accumulate. We aren't just talking about feeling a little stiff here. We're talking about severe lower back compression from long flights, tight hip flexors from standing on hard convention floors, and real systemic inflammation. Plus, your resting cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone, just skyrockets. This is legitimate, measurable structural wear and tear.
Because of this intense physical toll, we need to completely shift our mindset. We have to stop viewing massage as just some passive luxury and start seeing it for what it truly is, a mandatory biological reset. Passive rest, like just sitting on the couch or sleeping, isn't always enough to undo the structural compression and microscopic fiber damage we just talked about. You actually need a targeted physiological intervention to force your nervous system to power down and tell your muscles to finally release.
Section 1. Decoding the healing modalities. What's really fascinating is how different therapies act as highly specific, mechanical solutions to these exact ailments. Let's start with Swedish massage and see how this builds step by step. It's the foundation of modern relaxation, and it follows a very deliberate sequence. Step 1 is effleurage, which uses these long, gliding strokes specifically designed to warm up your muscle fibers. Once the tissue is prepped, the therapist moves to step 2, petrissage. This is a gentle kneading motion that lifts and compresses the soft tissue right away from the bone. And then step 3 is where the real magic happens. This manual compression acts as a lymphatic flush, literally pushing metabolic waste out of your muscles while flooding your system with oxygen-rich blood. But what if your muscles are so locked up that deep pressure actually hurts? Well, that's exactly where hot stone therapy comes in. Therapists use smooth, flat basalt stones, which are an iron-rich volcanic rock that holds heat perfectly, and they place them on specific acupressure points along your spine, the palms of your hands, and your abdomen. This introduces something called thermal penetration. It delivers deep, localized heat right into your muscular fascia, entirely bypassing the need for aggressive or painful pressure. This brings us to a crucial biological process called vasodilation, which is exactly how those hot stones accelerate your healing. When that deep heat penetrates your tissues, your blood vessels physically expand. That expansion, that's vasodilation. It rushes fresh nutrients and oxygen directly to your fatigued, rigid muscles, which allows the therapist to manipulate those tissues much more effectively.
Okay, now let's pivot to something entirely different, traditional Thai massage. Unlike Western methods that use oils and gliding strokes on a standard table, Thai massage is performed fully clothed on a floor mat. It utilizes dynamic, yoga-like assisted stretches and targeted acupressure. The practitioner actually leverages their own body weight to decompress your spine, optimize your joint mobility, and clear energy lines. It is a wonderfully active form of recovery.
If we look at how this breaks down, it clearly shows how each modality targets very different layers of tissue and physical conditions. If you're a first-time client needing gentle, overall relief, Swedish is definitely your starting point. If you suffer from chronic stiffness or you're highly sensitive to cold, hot stone is the perfect fit. But if you're a super active individual, maybe a runner, an athlete, or a business traveler needing deep structural alignment, the Thai influence modality is exactly what your body requires.
Section 2. The physiology of recovery. Let's look under the hood at the cardiovascular and neurological magic happening inside your body during these sessions.
Remember that locked alert state we talked about earlier? Well, targeted physical manipulation provides a direct pathway to shifting your body from that chaotic alert state, the sympathetic state, into the deeply restorative recovery state, known as the parasympathetic state. You can't just command your body to relax when it's flooded with stress hormones. You have to physically guide the nervous system down. Bodywork forces this biological transition.
And the absolute cornerstone of this physical recovery is circulation. When your therapist works your muscles, whether that's through kneading, heated stones, or dynamic stretching, they are naturally boosting your blood flow. This efficient circulation does two huge things simultaneously. It delivers essential oxygen and nutrients to your damaged tissues, and it acts as an internal plumbing system, carrying away all that metabolic waste that causes chronic fatigue and cold extremities.
Section 3, building a sustainable routine.
So how do we take all this amazing physiological science and actually apply it to our everyday lives? It comes down to changing your strategy. Relying on bodywork only when you are in severe pain, that's the reactive approach, and it's a massive mistake. You're just constantly fighting an uphill battle against structural breakdown. Instead, what you should take away from this explainer is the absolute need for a proactive approach. Scheduling therapy monthly allows you to maintain optimal mobility before the severe pain ever has a chance to set in. Integrating professional care into your schedule acts as preventative maintenance, offering compounding structural improvements. It doesn't just feel great for an hour, it offers serious compounding benefits. Consistent therapy fundamentally lowers your resting cortisol levels over time. It deeply improves your sleep hygiene because your nervous system actually remembers how to power down. It maintains your joint mobility, and critically, it prevents the subtle postural imbalances that lead to chronic injuries later in life. Now, here is a fantastic pro tip highly recommended by the sources. Rotate your treatments. Don't just do the exact same thing every single time. Alternating these specialized treatments keeps your nervous system highly responsive and ensures every muscle group is cared for. You might use deep warming stones in the winter when your joints are stiff, a flowing Swedish massage right after a heavy travel week to flush your system, and dynamic Thai stretching to recover after a really intense athletic event. But setting up this routine definitely requires the right environment. I absolutely love this quote from the source material. Location matters significantly. You need a sanctuary that is highly accessible but entirely removed from the chaotic noise. Think about it. If you have to fight an hour of stressful traffic just to get your massage, your sympathetic nervous system is going to flare right back up. Location integration is absolutely vital for consistency. The sources highlight My Thai Massage in Las Vegas as a perfect example of this concept. It's a strategic recovery haven located at 2301 East Sunset Road, which is literally just 3 minutes from the airport. Facilities built like this have your peace of mind as the primary focus. Because they're positioned near major access routes, they make self-care highly efficient for both locals and traveling executives. You can easily slip away from the chaos of the Strip, get your biological reset, and get right back to your life. I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to consider before your next stressful trip, long week at the office, or heavy workout. Are you treating your physical recovery as a rare luxury or as mandatory biological maintenance? Once you understand the underlying science of how your muscles, your blood flow, and your nervous system interact, the answer becomes incredibly clear. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you take proactive control of your physical well-being.